Hi, everybody. Welcome to Color Fandom Virtual Con 2026 panel, Mermaids of Color in the Mermaid Community. We are so excited to have two beautiful mermaids joining us. We have Clover joining us, and we have Sandy Cheeks joining us, and they're going to talk about what it's like being a mermaid of color and what it's like being in the mermaid community. I am going to mute myself and let you all take over. So thank you.
Hello, everybody. Can my being heard is a question. My name is Clover. I have been mermaiding now for 27 years, for 7 years since 2020. This panel, my goal for this panel is really to just inform other people about mermaiding, how to get into it or how to start, but also letting others know our place in the mermaid community. There's the global mermaid community, and then here in the United States has a mermaid community. There's always local pods that I love my local pod I swim with. But as far as Black mermaids are concerned, or mermaids of color are concerned, there's this much smaller demographic. And, I am always trying to grow the mermaid community, as well as always trying to grow the Black mermaid community. It's really important to me. And so, as well as just getting more of us in the water and more of us swimming because it's so healthy. So, we're going to start off by just talking about our mermaid journey. Myself and Sandy Cheeks, my mer sister, we have our own language.
Yeah.
There's mer sisters, there's what's some other, Sandy?
So if you're saying hello, you say shalom.
Shalom.
I'm feeling fantastic.
Fantastic.
The
Yes.
little logo lingo there, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
we have our own merisms.
Yeah.
Myself, a lot of us, I feel like the mermaid community really started growing during 2020 when we all had to kind of sit down and sit still. I have another business, and I'm a medical massage therapist, so I had to like close my business temporarily. And during that time, I was like, to stop myself from crying, I need to find something else to do. And I've always felt called to mermaids. I just never felt like I was a part of that community. I always thought that all the tails were silicone. And I was like, well, I can't afford a silicone tail. And then looking through videos, I started looking and I was like, that does not look like a silicone tail. And saw that, they were tagging different tail makers. And I was like, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I might be able to actually afford that, when it came to fabric tails. And then I purchased my first tail, and then I saw my first Black mermaid, which was Quintessence. Um, and at the time, the colors in her hair was the same colors I had in mine. And I was like, whoa, because I had never ever had seen that. Remember seeing another Black mermaid. And to me, that was just really a signal that this is something that I can do and be a part of. After that, then I saw our Yemaya, our mommy of mermaids, Naja, and she was a sexy form of mermaid. I was like, yeah, that's more my speed. I don't care about being a pretty little perfect little mermaid. Like, I am me, with my cha-chas out. And
Yes,
everybody
it's
has
true.
their own version of their mersana and their mermaiding. But that was my beginning. And as I kept going, I just found that it became so healing. As well as I got to meet new beautiful people like Sandy Cheeks along this beautiful journey of healing and community. And we all kind of heal each other, especially when it comes to like Black mermaids. Black women have all these issues that we don't really address all the time. But through going to like the Mermaid Summit and stuff like that, it has really allowed us to create a community and help each other kind of just heal and find a hobby that we all love, and it's exercise. And yeah. What about you, Sandy?
Yeah. So I guess in speaking about my, journey in Mersana, as you know, my name is Mermaid Sandy Cheeks, and actually I was named in part by Clover here. So I first had my exposure to the mermaiding community based off of the actual Mermaid Summit, Afro Mermaid Summit, that was the very inaugural one that they had in Miami. So how I got exposed is, I saw it advertised, and so it seemed interesting. At that time, my father had just died,
Mm,
and I just got out of broke up with my fiance too.
mm.
So it was two major life-changing things that had me emotionally and mentally spun. And so I saw where Carrie from Afro Mermaid was going to be having water meditation. And I thought, well, this is obviously a sign to go and to try to get reacclimated, to get back to myself and this new normal that my life will be. So, I went. I just thought it was going to be just, talking about waters, meditation and healing and sound baths, and maybe some discussions about African spirituality and mermaid spirits. But no, it was actually a community of real people with their mermaid tails on swimming. And so I watched and observed, and I was so curious. And finally said, "Would you like to try it?" And I said, "Sure." And then after I tried it, Clover said, "You know what? You remind me of your personality of Sandy Cheeks." And I
It's because you
found
had
out
sand literally on your butt.
I did. I said on my butt too. And so she said, Sandy Cheeks is what your name should be. And it stuck. And so did mermaiding. And so here I am, 5 years later, officially, a mermaid in the mer community. And it's been a joy ever since. It's been very healing as I go through the process of life and grief, healing from grief and all of that kind of stuff. So that's my
Yay.
story.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
So to ground this in something real, let's start with how hold on, I'm reading as I go where I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be. Okay. So now that you've heard how we got here, let's talk about what mermaiding actually looks like. I have some monofins here so that you guys, for people who have never seen, like what is in that tail, what propels them, is it one piece, etc. So here is a monofin. This is one type of monofin. This is my favorite monofin to recommend people to get started in. This one is by Body Glove. It is fairly firm. It gives you a good push when you're swimming. Um, and from this actually goes into, like, let's say, depending on the tail. I don't know if you guys can even see this because it's clear, but this is a vinyl. Okay. And then the monofin, you release these things, you slide it into the vinyl, and then you put the vinyl, the whole piece, inside a skin. So you would call that the monofin, the vinyl, and then the skin. And there's a zipper here that goes into the tail. This is one of my tails that I paint because I'm one of the people that don't like anybody to have my same tail. But so you know what I mean, and this particular one is by Finfolk. There are quite a few tail makers, especially lately. They're more popping up. It feels like every day. They have different price points. For example, that particular monofin is like, I think they went up a little bit. It's like $70 for that one. But then you have Big Mama Jammas. Yeah. Then you have guys like this.
Yeah.
This is a full silicone, very flexible monofin. This one is by Mer Taylor, and it also goes inside of the tail. And this one already has it has the foot pockets. This thing weighs, I think, about 22 pounds. But once you get into the water, it's a lot lighter,
Yes.
because of the silicone within it. Um, so then that one goes inside of their tail, and their tails also have, like I said, zippers, right? And it's shaped like that monofin. I always tell people if you're going to get started, you would start off with it's better to start off smaller than starting off with a really expensive tail because you're going to mess it up. I wasted money in the beginning. I never had anybody help me in the beginning. And so I feel like I wasted a lot of money, and you're going to stand on it and scuff it. And you're like, why did I spend all this money? Start small, learn first, practice with the monofin, feel more comfortable. And lastly, I wanted to show you my silicone tail. so that y'all can see what they look like in, well, I can't say in person, but what they look like as well. This thing weighs, I think, I want to say it was like 36, but it might be 40 pounds. This
Mhm.
baby is heavy. One of the things about silicone tails that becomes such a big deal is you're designing it. It's very, very, very personal. It's fit to your body. So we do a whole mold. You do a whole, it's called a body dummy. You do a whole mold of your body with tape and saran wrap. And then you send it to them, and then they make your silicone tail from that mold. And you get with a designer, and the designer helps you design it because one of the things people don't realize, like mermaids, and I don't know if this is the same for you, Sandy.
Mhm.
Although in other aspects of myself, sometimes I consider myself a cosplayer, but really, my full persona is a vampire, fairy, mermaid. That's just who I am. Do
Right.
you feel the same?
Well, about you, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, in the sense of cosplaying
yeah,
or feeling,
yeah. I will say, a friend even asked me about this the other day. I am not as like I've never cosplayed.
yeah.
So I guess this is my first and only experience in the cosplay community. I'm really when I'm doing it, I'm more so into the swimming of it, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy the photo shoots. So
Yes,
I
it's fun.
guess that is the cosplay side of it. Yeah.
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 But do you feel like you're a cosplayer or do you feel like you're a mermaid?
I feel like I'm more of a mermaid.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
that's a difference because cosplayers, they kind of are playing in costume of other characters.
Yeah.
And the difference with mermaids and I would say even fairies for the most part, I'm not putting on another character. This is who I am.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of the separation there with the fantasy community and possibly the cosplay community. It's like cosplay and then we're like our own little tribe.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. It's an identity. It's part of our identity. Yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree
definitely.
with that. It's definitely part of our identity.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That was a good one.
And while all of this beautiful and exciting reality is not everyone sees themselves in these spaces. So when I first discovered mermaiding, and I already had known about some of the conventions, but I never really saw any other Black mermaids at them. Like maybe there was a speck of pepper in the salt.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so I never really felt like it was our space. And but I think with um the Afro Mermaid Summit or the now it's called what is it?
Mermaid
Mermaid
Society.
Summit by Afro.
Yeah.
It allowed us all to kind of find each other, and create more of a Black mermaid community. I think we were kind of in different spaces,
Okay.
but never really like together.
Okay.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um so how do you feel, Sandy, when it comes to like the mermaid community and feeling more accepted in
Right.
in the spaces?
Yeah. So like I was saying, I don't have as much experience in other communities.
Mm-hmm.
My primary experience is mostly with, Afro Mermaid and the Mermaid Summit. That's my main thing. So I will say last year I had the opportunity to open up a little bit. I went to the Springs. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had the opportunity to hang out with the Florida Springs Mermaids.
Yeah.
So that was different. And so I would say that I think overall I feel most comfortable when I go down to Miami for the big meetup for the summit. But
Yeah.
it makes me feel more comfortable in those spaces though.
Yeah.
Like I feel as though my identity as Mermaid Sandy Cheeks makes me relatable to everybody that is swimming as a mermaid. So I
Yeah.
will say that definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think because our Black mermaid community and mermaids of color are finding each other and having more of a community with each other, I
Mhm.
think in those spaces, like going to the springs, it feels almost more comfortable because you're going to see more of us, and then you recognize those faces.
And they recognize us, and they are familiar as well. So that's
Yeah.
really helpful and comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because representation in all spaces is just so important.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Definitely
Yeah.
agree. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Okay, so oh, I was going to talk about, since we were talking about representation, one of the other things that was really important to me when I got to talk about one of my businesses. So
Mhm.
I'm going to tell a very quick story. When I was 14, I think it was, or somewhere around that age, my dad and I went to this. He was always taking me somewhere. We went somewhere. We walked into the store, and it was a mermaid store, and they had like wall to wall mermaids, and like figurines and statues and Christmas ornaments and glass and everything. I mean, there
Yeah.
were thousands of mermaids in this store. And I was like, Dad, I want to be a mermaid. And he was like, You already are. And I'm like, I love you. Right? But we walked out of that store without purchasing a single thing.
Yeah.
Because not when I say not one, thousands of them were in this store, and not one of them were representative of us.
Wow.
Not one single one of them felt like they, even if I squinted, maybe one might have been a Hispanic mermaid because she had
Mhm.
dark hair and a little bit of tint to her skin.
Latarina. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was definitely not a black mermaid.
Yeah.
So, all these years later, when I became a mermaid and I started looking again for mermaid figurines, at the time I still did not find a single one. There was a guy in I don't know what country he's in. He makes them individually and charges thousands of dollars for them
Well,
at that time. And so I was like, dang. So I made one, and I had one produced. Her name is Brassy. This is not the original style of Brassy, but
mhm.
I also customize them because I'm, again, representation matters. And so she is actually designed after an iconic drawing by B Fly by Design. She is also a black woman, and she does a lot of like art and black mermaid art. And I really wanted to start off with a very iconic signal. So, if you're ever looking for a black mermaid statue, hi, I make them. There is one style right now, but I am working hard on trying to figure out how to make more without spending quite as much as I spent on her.
Mhm, mhm.
But yes, and
I'm
you see
definitely going to
Brassy.
get one this year.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I'm
should.
gonna get
Are you
one.
gonna do custom, or you want to get the original design?
Well, I've seen the original design many times,
Yes.
so maybe the original, but well, I will look at the custom because I don't know, I didn't know about the custom. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like this one, she was designing it after Anubis.
Mm. Oh, nice.
So she has the Ankh. I don't know if you can see that. It has the
Yeah.
Ankh on there.
Oh yeah, that's so pretty.
Yeah. So, and you saw Naja's. Have you seen Naja's?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Think
So
so,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a lot of fun making them. So,
Cool. Yeah.
so speaking of transitioning over onto, since Anubis and custom and our roots and stuff like that, do you want to share a little bit about the history of Black mermaids?
Yeah. So it's very unique. Actually, when I first came into this community and said I wanted to buy my first mermaid tail, I asked my spiritual father, which is my called a Babalawo in African spirituality, is it okay for me to wear a mermaid tail as a child of Oshun? And he said, sure, go for it. So, I've been rocking with it ever since. But yeah, as far as my spiritual link and connection to Black mermaids. As you know, the most popular um, African mermaids are water spirits that everyone around the world knows is Oshun and Yemoja, right? And so, speaking specifically from the Nigerian country and the Yoruba tribe, their water deities are known as Yemoja, and she is identified fondly with Mother of the Oceans, water, mother of all waters, right? And then you have Oshun, right? And she is the great mother of all fresh waters upon the earth, right? And so there's so many rich traditions and stories and lessons that these African mermaids, these African water spirits have for not only their local tribe and country, but the community, certainly for all of us in the diaspora and the world at large. So there's a really strong, connection and tie that I particularly have as a child of Oshun. But yeah, that's kind of the quick summary of, Black mermaids in my.
One of the things that really, like, my statue line is the Oshun dynasty. And one of the things that really brought me to Oshun, when I was trying to decide on my store on my line name, a series, a statue series line, you know, I say Yamaya. Is that incorrect? Because I feel
Uh,
like they say her name so many different ways.
yeah, so like that one, that pronunciation you hear mostly like in like Brazil and kind of like
Uh,
Spanish, that Yemoja. Yemoja
okay.
is the,
Yemoja.
yeah, with a J-O,
Uh-huh.
kind of.
With a J. Because it's spelled differently too.
Yeah, it's spelled differently as
Yeah.
well. So
So
yeah.
Yemoja.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Moja, I've heard different things, and so I was like, I don't want to piss her off.
I think both are appropriate, both
Yeah,
words. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. But
Yeah.
with naming, I really tried to dig in deep. But Oshun's story really touched me. Do you want to tell a little bit briefly about Oshun's story with what's his name? The
Shango?
Sango.
Shango.
Shango.
Oh gosh. Well, I don't want to inappropriately repeat the story because they're very
Okay.
particular about getting the
Fair.
story exactly, exactly,
Fair.
exactly. But what I will say is that in many stories, Oshun is the wife, contentious wife, of Shango.
Mm-hmm.
Shango is the African spirit god of kings.
Mm-hmm.
We call him Kabio Kabasi.
Mm-hmm.
That's the abbreviated name, but it's
Mm-hmm.
kingship. He's the god of kings, And
Mm-hmm.
so Oshun, in many stories, is married to Shango. There are a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stories where it doesn't end well.
Right.
Um, uh, but fundamentally, these are two African deities that represent the royalty
Yeah.
and the stories of conquering the
Yeah.
tribe and the country, conquering
Mm-hmm.
many enemies
Mm-hmm.
that have
Yeah.
come for them. But that
Yeah.
was reflected mostly in the stories, but
Mm-hmm.
it's very sordid love tale between
Yeah.
Oshun and Shango. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of what I loved about her story is, like, pieces of it were, and also not to be just, disrespectful of a long story, but,
Yeah.
that she was kind of the peacekeeper on Earth of
Yeah.
sorts. And when her and Shango started having some issues, y'all, she went up to the moon, and she just kind of like chilled out. But while she was up in the moon, because she was the peacekeeper, the earth kind of fell apart, so she had to come back down. But I to some extent, even though I wouldn't say I'm completely 100% a peacekeeper, but I am a desirer of peace,
Yeah.
and a desire of community, and of love as a whole, and embracing everyone. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I went with Oshun, as my story for, or
Yeah.
my title for my statue line.
Good, good.
The
Yes.
other beautiful thing about with being a Black mermaid is, and unbeautiful thing about being an African American. We've lost a lot of our history and our story.
Mhm.
A lot of us have, I'm not even 100% sure what country in Africa I come from.
Mhm.
And then there's that ugly history from America, right, of what was done to our people, as well as just stripped are people of our heritage and our history. So one of the things that I really enjoy that feels a part of the Black mermaid community is our connection to the motherland through this.
Yes.
Personally, I am a Christian. I love Jesus, but we've had this discussion. You know what I mean? Like, look, this is my little bit that I'm gonna hold on to. You
Yeah.
know, I still will when I go to the ocean. I give little offerings, you know, out of homage and out of love and respect, just because, like I said, I feel like this is all I really have in my full connection to the motherland. And as a mermaid, it feels really deep and rooted. And I just appreciate people like Sandy Cheeks who kind of hold that spirituality and share some of it with us with respect to those of us who have other religious beliefs, but still embracing that all of us can find a place to embrace that, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
um with that piece of history, and I think this will be our last point because I don't know, she didn't tell me a time frame, so I'm gonna go for 30 minutes.
Right.
The other piece of history, which a lot of people do know, is part of what they stripped from us as well was that feeling of feeling comfort in water. Whether we're talking about them pouring acid in the pools or bleaching the pools or closing pools in our neighborhoods so that our people weren't able to get comfortable in the water. And one of the things that I tell people is there's a reason. It's not just about taking something away from us. It was about taking away that freedom. It was about taking away the healing that water can bring. For me, when I'm swimming in tail, like I don't even like to swim with my people legs. I got an emergency monofin in my trunk just in case swim happens. I don't know. What if you go to somebody's house and they have a pool and you didn't know? Now I can't swim in these people legs. I don't like it. I'm
People
so
live.
slow. So so I always got to have a fin with me, but so many people, I think the percentage of Black people that don't know how to swim is like 70% still. That
Mhm.
is really freaking high. And so I have a lot of passions, y'all, so you know, but one
Mhm.
of my many passions is to call us to the water, is to bring my people to the water. Whether it's Oshun calling you, Yamoja calling you, or Clover calling you, I am asking you, those of you who don't know how to swim, those of you who are afraid of the water or still timid, you know, get some lessons.
Yeah.
We spend so much time on doing all of these really great things, but swimming is actually a survival skill. It is really important to know, you know, even for us inland, you never know. What is it? Houston be flooding every other
Yeah.
day.
Right.
You never know when you
Yeah.
need to know how to swim, even if it's to be able to save someone. And one of the things you can pass down if you do have children is the love of water and the healing of water. When I swim, everything else, the 700 million and 22 things that I think about all day long that I need to do, those are gone. I do not
Mhm.
think about them, you know, and it becomes such a peaceful place for me, and I desire that for my people and for everyone else out there. You know, if you don't know how to swim, you know, learn. How do you feel when you're swimming, Sandy?
I feel liberated and free because it's one of the exercises I can do where I don't have to feel my body quite as much as I would
Yeah.
because of gravity.
Hmm.
So it's really fun. And it's my happy place.
Same.
It's totally my happy place. And I also prefer my monofin, but it's really cool. I will say once you take your tail off and you swim with your human legs again, it feels really weird. It's like I feel like a frog. It's like
Yeah.
it's very cool. I can't explain it, but yeah.
Yeah, because it's like you go from like this
Restricted. Yeah.
and you're fast to
Yeah.
like can you show off your shirt for us before you move on?
This is
That's
the
you, girl.
that's me. That's
Fix
mermaid
the
Sandy.
face. Fix the face because it's all kind of like
Oh,
winkly on
okay.
your.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
look at Sandy.
Yeah, that's one of the photo shoots I did at the Springs in Florida at the Jenny Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that is probably my favorite mermaid hideaway. So I'm gonna go there a lot this summer. I plan to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold, but it feels so refreshing.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very, very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, that was my call to the water. I want to open up to questions if we have time for that, if anybody has them. Um,
Yes, we do. We do have time. I'm going to see if you can hear people's questions. Can I get Deborah?
okay.
Can you ask a question just so we can see if it's working so that everybody can hear, or anybody, if anybody can unmic. Were you able to hear that, Clover?
No, ma'am.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Sounds like so. I will ask the questions that I see coming in. If y'all don't mind.
Yeah,
No, it's
no.
fine.
Does anybody have any questions? This has been such an awesome panel. I mean, I have
Oh,
learned so much, but y'all were so inspiring. In
yay!
the sense of I really want to check things out.
Yes.
This just sounds, and I do know how to swim, but I'm like you. I love swimming too.
It is, there
Yeah.
is nothing for people who haven't experienced swimming. To me, there is nothing in the world like it.
Yeah.
But when you put on a monofin, like
Yeah,
Mhm.
another level.
it's a
Yeah.
whole, I can, with that, like with some of my monofins, I can go so fast. Like I promise you, Michael Phelps, you in trouble. And also like the water, you hear it go whoosh, whoosh,
I
whoosh.
would love to know what that feels like. I bet
It's
that feels so
amazing.
good.
It
Oh
is
my
so
I
amazing.
think there's a mermaid. When I went to the gym, to when I went to the spring splash last year, she said they have an Olympics, a mermaid Olympics, and there
Mhm.
are other people
Oh
from other
wow.
mermaids from other countries that compete for the
Yes.
competitive fast swim.
Oh
So
God,
you need to do that, Clover.
I
I
would
don't know
do
what
that.
it is. I hate competition.
Oh, I
But
love it. I do have questions for you.
okay,
So the first one, do you have a favorite moment while mermaiding?
You want to start?
a favorite moment while mermaiding, just in general, or the whole time that I've been doing
Your
it.
whole mermaiding journey,
I
whatever.
think in general, it just says, do you have a favorite moment while mermaiding?
Favorite moment while mermaid. Um, Probably doing tricks. I've kind of gotten really, it's my kind of unspoken passion that I haven't really shared with anybody, but I kind of like trying out tricks. So when I get one right, it's really, really cool. Like the twirls in water, or when I do one of the flips underwater in my tail. Because you really feel like a mermaid at that point.
Mhm.
So it's really cool.
My favorite moments that I try to, I'm going to air quote, recreate every mermaid summit is teach someone new how to swim in a monofin. People will come to the mermaid summit and they've never bought a tail before. They have one, but they're not comfortable, but they're like, I just want to go. I love like that teach moment and then letting them just go, and then they're like, and yeah, I like, my heart fills up with so much like love and joy and those moments, because it's not about me, it's just about, it's almost like I'm giving a piece of freedom to somebody and then they're taking it and they can share it too. And I like to say mermaids are like a cult. We're always trying to convert everybody, but we're a good cult.
Yeah.
That was just beautifully said, the
Yeah.
way you described that. I have another question. Where can we meet other mermaids and mer people in North Carolina?
So there are groups. There's mermaid groups. We have the Mermaid Society. There is a Facebook group, and we're trying. There's that's one way you can say, "Hey, I'm in North Carolina. Are there any pods in North Carolina?" And a lot of times, even if it's a small pod, we call it pods, right? Even if it's a small pod, there's probably one near you. And then you can always send me a message if you need any help. I love helping new mermaids or mermaids. Like, it is a big deal to me. I don't respond to the men that be messaging me, but if you're a mermaid, if you're a mermaid or a fairy, I respond. And I can help you find some other mermaids near you, or create a pod if there's not.
Okay, next question. Is there a man, like a merman group?
So I wouldn't say there's a merman group, but there are mermen.
Okay.
Mhm.
We have a, I wouldn't say a lot, but we have a number of mermen in the community.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay, I see someone is typing up a question, so we're going to have another one come up.
Okay.
And
I just
how long have both of you been in the community?
So literally 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say same because it was the beginning or middle of 2020, and then the first summit was held in 2021.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, so here are two questions. Do you do Ren or fantasy or fairy festivals? Because that's where I've seen mermaids before. Second, do you want to weigh in on the controversy around the live action Little Mermaid film?
So I personally don't do any of the Ren fairs as a mer person. I'm gonna be bluntly honest. They do not pay Ren Fair people enough money. A lot of the mermaids, if they're even being paid, they, might take home the rest as tips. I have a medical massage therapy practice. You ain't paying me pennies. Um, like negative, but that works for them, and that's great for those who want to participate in that. I run Dallas's fairy group, and so we once a year also go to Ren fairs. But as Faye, did you want to chime in on that?
Um, so I just watch others do it. I have not actually fully participated as a Fae yet and done anything in the Ren Fair communities and spaces yet. I do like to attend though. So yeah.
Mhm. And as far as what is it, Haley Bailey, um, she gonna be black today. She gonna be black. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Same, same.
Does anybody have any other questions?
But I'll
I have
add a
somebody
little
with
bit to that is that, I Ariel, listen, she probably the reason I'm a damn mermaid, the original Ariel. I love her as she is, but I think, again, back to representation matters. I love her like that. I love her like this, and any other form that she comes in, because the story isn't about color,
Right.
you know.
Okay, it looks like I have three people writing in. So, okay,
Okay.
so can the link to the Facebook group be dropped in general chat? She was
I
wondering.
can try. How do I do that? Yes.
Okay, so if you click the chat button,
I figured it out. I got it.
yeah, and
And
then
so you're looking for the
I'll move it.
mermaid. You're looking for the Mermaid Society. Oh no,
Okay,
that's the summit. If anybody wants to attend the summit, let me see if I can find. And you're looking for the Mermaid Society group page.
I think so. The
Let me
Mermaid
see.
Society group page.
Hold on, let
And
me
then once
see.
it goes into Zoom, I'll put it in Discord.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay, and then here is another question. How do you use the bathroom? I'm sure y'all have heard that. How do you use the bathroom in those tales?
Go ahead,
We
Sandy.
take them
We
off.
take them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely take them off and go and come back. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
um, there is some, and then here's someone else saying there are some Creole folklore of actual mermaid creatures. Do you know anything about that folklore? I know someone whose grandma swears she saw one.
So is that different than? I guess that is different because that's. I know Naja's first hearing about Yamoja was at a Creole store in New Orleans. So I mean, I've seen a real fairy. So listen, they probably real. If a fairy is real, then you can't convince me that mermaids aren't.
All right, I think I have. Oh, they're just saying, yeah. There other people do also saying that they're real.
Hmm.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
dog wants to say
That's what
hi.
they're saying in the
Say
group.
hi.
Are there any other questions or comments? I'm just looking in the in the group?
The Mermaid Summit is held in June. If you would ever like to join us, there's time to get a tail. If you need help, you can message me. Like I said, I can give you, I have a whole rundown thing that I just copy and paste to people at this point to help them get started. But even if you don't have a tail yet, a lot of us don't mind you trying it on. If you decide to come to the summit, we would love to have you. Seeing all of these mermaids is just an experience in itself.
Definitely.
I just want to say thank you so much for this. This has been not even just just informational, but y'all are really just projecting a lot of warmth, and just a sense of belonging and community. And so, I mean, I just appreciate you bringing this energy to us, and just feel honored for you to do it. So thank you so
No.
much.
Thank you. And
Thank
that's
you.
what we, I mean, every community has their drama. But overall, the mermaid community, it's this, and we're I like to say we're a bunch of weirdos. Like there's a Netflix special. We're
I
just a bunch
saw
of
it. Yeah.
yeah, we're just a bunch of weirdos who got together and said, "Hey, you like to swim? I like to swim when we're together." Hey, and and we found community in each other, and there's nothing like it in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just sounds wonderful.
Yeah,
Well,
join us. I'll be looking for you, Donna.
okay. I mean, I'm telling you, I think you might have gotten me. So, because
Yes,
that sounds like a lot of just the feel of it
it
sounds
is.
like it'll
And
be.
we don't just swim at the summit. Like we karaoke, we dance, we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
yoga, then we have the healing ceremony, the secret
Oh,
garden. Like, yeah,
yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm definitely looking at these links in a few minutes. So thank you so much. I hope y'all enjoy. Just please, if you feel like something catches your eye with these events, you'll see things posted in our general post. We have a schedule post, a schedule channel. It has the schedule in there for the weekend. Tonight they're showing Supergirl. That's our mystery science fiction.
oh, fun.
3000. So people talking through it. And pretty much that will be it for tonight. So thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. And I'm good. Let me post your this last link to the group. Oh, it looks like y'all might have gotten more than just me.
Yay! We
Yeah, so
want you. We need you. It's
yeah,
so
so
important.
yeah, so it's looking good. All right, y'all have a wonderful night and thank
Yeah.
you.
You too. Thank you
You
so much.
too.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sandy.
Oh, thank you.